Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I was just feeling like doing a real quick deck tech of something I've got thrown together right here. At first glance, this is Jeskai Saheeli Combo. And I'll walk you through it. Mine's a little bit different than probably what you've seen out there. Really like this build. This is a test build. I haven't actually played this in tournaments, FNM, anything like that, but it's basically took the main deck and made my personal adjustments. Not going to go over any of the lands. The lands are very standard. The part I would really like to spend the most time on is the combo part down at the bottom, which you've got your standard Saheeli and Veldar Guardian, which, you know, we all know how that works. It's the fastest combo in here. I actually included 2 combos in here, and this is what I really like. I've actually recently learned about the Crackdown Construct and Wandering Fumarole combo. How it works, if you haven't seen this yet, you activate your Fumarole. You do not have to have it to attack, so you can have 4 lands, just enough to actually activate the Fumarole. You activate it, and then you use its 0 ability to switch its power and toughness. You can do this infinite number of times because it costs 0. And on your Crackdown Construct, it says whenever you activate an ability of a artifact or creature, which land becomes creature, it gets +1/+1. You switch the power and toughness of Wandering Fumarole a million times, you have a 1,000,002 Crackdown Construct. You can swing in. Not extremely popular, especially not by itself, just because Crackdown Construct does not have any evasion or trample or anything other than the fact that you can make him huge. So it's easy to block, but we have several ways of getting around that, which actually goes into our Planeswalker package. I have a solo Gideon right now. He goes from amazing to horrible, depending on what you're playing against. So the one of it just fits, having the ability to have 4 different Planeswalkers. You know, just love the Planeswalkers, and the more the merrier. Nahiri is very special in this deck. I mean, it does quite literally everything. It's card selection, not necessarily card advantage, unfortunately, but we get a card selection, able to pitch any of our legendary permanents that we already have in play, pitch extra lands, dig to what we need to, whether it's removal, combo, so on and so forth. The real benefit to it with having the Fumarole Construct combo is the fact that I can ultimate Nahiri on an empty board, hopefully, and haste in a Crackdown Construct. Doesn't use any mana to do such, so therefore hopefully I can activate my Fumarole and go infinite. Obviously, this is the easiest combo to break up in here. It's just a thrown in extra, but it has, I mean, the potential to sneak in a lot of wins. It's not something, it gives you an extra, I would say, 2 cards that they absolutely have to deal with, because even if you don't kill them immediately, they have to block it each and every time, and if it doesn't have Death Touch, it's not dying. So you can swing into anything, very similar to Gideon, which has always been his biggest benefit. You've got your obvious other choice for the red Planeswalker, Chandra. I've got 2 of those in here. Removal, card advantage, mana acceleration. The card's ridiculous, and it's seeing more and less play. Planeswalkers are in a very weird position right now, with Mardu vehicles being the best deck that you're going to see out there. You're going to run into a lot of Heart of Kirans. And that is kind of the problem, especially for Gideon. That's really what hurts Gideon more than anything. But you always have the ability to drop Gideon an emblem. Chandra doesn't have to worry about that. You plus one of her pluses will get her up to 5. So without any pump, you can survive 1 Heart of Kiran attack. Thalia is for the mirror match primarily. It's good in a lot of different things based on tempo. I mean, people are extremely greedy with their lands right now, which is always what we see when we get the full number of sets out before rotation. You have so many non-basic lands to use, and a lot of them come into play untapped. It doesn't really affect the fast lands, obviously, because they're usually going to come down way before her, and if they come in after her, usually they already have more than 3 or more lands, so not a lot of benefit there, but primarily because of the effect that it has on the combo, which another benefit, a enemy Thalia does not stop the Crackdown construct unless you're ultiming it with Nahiri. So you do have a combo outlet in the face of a Thalia. If they bring in Thalias against you and they think that's, as long as their Thalia is alive, they are fine and dandy, that is your way around that. And that's one of the big reasons I kept it in, put it in this particular build. The mana land was free anyway. We're already in those colors. Those are our most important colors. But moving on, we've got Blessed Alliance, which is just absolutely just universal removal, life gain. The untap effect is not fantastic in this build, because obviously we have very, 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 very few creatures, but for 4 mana you have to gain 4 life, and they have to sacrifice a creature. 9 times out of 10 that's what we're doing, which is fantastic. You've got Oath of Chandra, which is probably the premier removal for any of your Saheeli combo decks, just because Feldar Guardian gets a little extra boost in utility, being able to bounce that, or I should say flicker, and enabling you to kill multiple creatures with a single Oath of Chandra. Stasis Snare, that's our instant speed removal for, just any size permanent, any size creature, I should say, sorry. Which, made popular by the Flash deck. It's been around for a while. We know how it works. We've seen it work. Declaration in Stone, I don't believe has lost, well, in my opinion, has gotten extraordinarily better in the new metagame, with the loss of, for one, the white-blue Flash is almost not a deck, so Sorcery Speed removal gets a lot better, and Smuggler's Copter, and I'm so apologize for saying every 5 seconds, but cannot stop. It is a mental tick. Anyhow, yeah, I'm just catching my breath. Sorry about that. Talking way too fast, running out of oxygen. But with Smuggler's Copter being out of the format, your sorcery speed removal gets extraordinarily better, and with the popularity of green-black, aggro, delirium, any of those builds, the best card, and the one which Abzan Delirium is my primary deck, which is splashed between green-white tokens and green-black Delirium. Declaration of Stone is the worst card for me to see. Not always, because obviously getting to be able to draw a card, but when I'm on a clock that I have no idea how long I have, it's fantastic. You don't have to worry about being grinded out. This is not meant to be a grindy deck. Has the ability to, and with my favorite edition, Cataclysmic Gear Hulk. This is the least loved of all the Gear Hulks. This is also one of the better creatures that I can ultimate Nahiri for. And what that does, it semi-wipes the board. We've seen a little play right when it came out, and I can't say I've seen any of it. For us, how it works, I can keep both of my combo pieces alive if they have an answer to it, or say a Thalia, and I can ultimate Nahiri, kind of clears the path, because I can obviously sack the Gear Hulk instead of my Feldar, or choose it as the artifact and keep a few more things around. There's a lot of utility in it, and it's really for those gummed up games. You'll see a lot of gummed up games where Mardu Vehicles has got a ton of crap out, and obviously your green-black Delirium has a ton of crap out. It's a way of catching you up and instantly getting ahead in a way that I think Fumigate does not do. Obviously, they get to choose their best permanents, but we are more or less worried about sheer numbers more than really big threats. Moving along, we go to Oath of Jace. This is another staple for this deck. The ability to flash it with Felidar Guardian. It digs us. Unfortunately, it's not card advantage, but when you're dealing with a combo deck and not a grindy control deck, you want card selection over anything else. That's the most important thing. Anticipate, the same thing. Digs us 3 deep, lets us see more cards, and unfortunately, more often than not, it's usually digging for a land over a combo piece. It just seems how Anticipate always works for me, which is fine. You know, you can main phase it or you can end of turn it. Unfortunately, that's a telltale sign of when you're digging for a land when you main phase it most of the time. But, you know, not exactly playing at a Pro Tour. And even then, you can telegraph different things. Telegraph that you're trying to find a land when you're not. A lot of mind games can be played with anything that's instant speed, and that's card selection. Absolutely love it. 1 Oath of Gideon. That's another one of my personal touches, and primarily because Saheeli, the number one way of breaking up the Saheeli combo right now is shooting her with the Walking Ballista. And you know, you only have to have 1 counter on it to be able to do that. Break up the whole combo. With Oath of Gideon, she comes back with 2, and they obviously have to use double the counters to be able to deal with it. You get utility on all of your other planeswalkers, obviously, but it's a way of keeping your Saheeli alive. It gives them 1 less out, which is huge in a combo deck. And you get utility running 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, running 9 planeswalkers. Usually it will do something, and at worst it'll make 2 to 4 ground blockers, which in a deck like this is fine. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, no need to go over the lands. It's just play the best of what you got. Really having fun play testing this deck. Hope to use it if I can ever set down my Abzan Delirium, just because the deck's ridiculous and in a fun way. Not saying that it is more powerful than just green-black Delirium or green-white tokens. I just prefer things that do a little bit too much. Probably always been my weakness and always will be. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like this. Trying to be more vocal, give you a lot more and say a lot less. May never happen. We will see. But let me get this uploaded and hopefully everyone likes it. Alright guys, have a good day, and gals.